In the quiet, unsuspecting neighborhood of Atchison, Kansas, the Sallie house has long been shrouded in dark legend and eerie lore. Its malevolent reputation has left a chilling mark on the lives of those who dared to cross its threshold. 3 distinct tales of terror emerge from this sinister abode. A hopeful couple who innocently rented the house, a skeptical male neighbor who became a reluctant believer, and an intrepid reporter who ventured inside with cameras rolling, all destined to confront the bone-chilling horrors that lurked within the infamous Sallie house.
I'm Jessica, and last summer, my husband, Mike, and I made the fateful decision to rent the notorious Sallie house. The stories and legends surrounding this place were impossible to ignore, and we were determined to experience the paranormal for ourselves. Little did we know the terrifying ordeal that awaited us. As we crossed the threshold of the Sallie house, an oppressive weight settled upon our shoulders, and an icy chill filled the air. We tried to shake off the unease that gripped us, passing it off as mere nerves. But the feeling lingered, and the house seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. Opting to stay in the nursery, the epicenter of the house's sinister reputation, we prepared for our first night. As darkness descended, strange occurrences began to unfold. Soft, ghostly giggles emanated from the corner of the room where an old rocking chair swayed on its own, bathed in a pale, otherworldly light. The chair moved as if an invisible presence occupied it, and a child's voice whispered, "Come play with me." Fear clutched at our hearts, but our curiosity overcame our trepidation. We approached the chair, the room growing colder by the second. The child's laughter became increasingly sinister, as if it reveled in our fear. We felt a presence we couldn't see but could undeniably feel. "Come play with me," the voice beckoned again, and the malevolence in the room intensified. In sheer terror, we fled, desperate to escape the unnatural force that lurked within the Sallie house. As we huddled together in the living room, trying to make sense of the inexplicable, a blood-curdling scream tore through the silence. It was Mike. I turned to see him clutching his arm, his face drained of color. 3 long, deep scratches marred his flesh, as if an invisible claw had viciously attacked him. Panic surged through us as we examined the inexplicable wounds, their eerie greenish glow casting an ominous pallor. We realized then that we were not alone in that house. An entity, something malevolent and beyond our comprehension, resided within those walls. Those scratches were a horrifying testament to the sinister force that dwelled in the Sallie house. We left with a profound sense of dread and a chilling reminder that some mysteries are best left unexplored. The Sallie house had irrevocably altered us, forever marking our lives with a brush of the supernatural and the enduring terror of that ill-fated summer. Morning couldn't come soon enough. We hastily packed our bags, leaving behind the cursed nursery and the enigmatic mysteries that clung to that place. The Sallie house had shown us a darkness we could never have imagined, and the stories we had once considered mere legends were now an indelible reality etched into our souls.
I am Robert, a resident living near the dreaded Sallie house in the present year of 2023. For years, I've witnessed the horrors and inexplicable events that have unfolded next door, and my own experiences have left me with a profound sense of fear and dread. Nights near the Sallie house have always been fraught with unease. I would often hear cries of agony and pitiful wails that echoed through the darkness, disturbing my peace and tormenting my dreams. But it wasn't until one fateful night in 2023 that I couldn't resist my morbid curiosity any longer. The stories that surrounded the Sallie house had always been chilling, but on that moonless evening, my curiosity got the better of me. I decided to peek through their window to catch a glimpse of the secrets that lay within those sinister walls. As I gazed inside, my heart sank. A woman in a blood-soaked tatter dress stood in the nursery, cradling a lifeless infant in her arms. Her voice was low and she chanted eerie incantations, her eyes burning with an unnatural, malevolent light. The child's cries grew louder, echoing through the night until they abruptly ceased. The shock of what I had witnessed left me paralyzed. I couldn't fathom the horror that unfolded within the Sallie house, a place that had always exuded an aura of dread and malevolence. The next morning, I discovered that the previous occupants had disappeared without a trace, leaving the house empty once more. But it was never truly silent. The malevolent presence within those walls persisted, tormenting the living and serving as a grim reminder of the darkness it concealed. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had glimpsed something beyond human understanding, a sinister force that thrived within the Sallie house. Over the following weeks, my own experiences added to the terror. Strange shadows moved behind the curtains and eerie whispers filled the night air. I would wake up to find my belongings inexplicably rearranged, and an unsettling feeling of being watched would follow me wherever I went. One evening, as I sat in my living room, the temperature dropped suddenly, and the lights flickered ominously. A spectral figure materialized before my eyes, a childlike silhouette with piercing, glowing eyes. It beckoned to me with an outstretched hand, its voice echoing in my mind. "Come play with me." Fear gripped my very soul, and I recoiled, unable to move or speak. The apparition advanced toward me, its presence suffocating. Panic coursed through my veins as I desperately sought a way to escape this malevolent entity. In a moment of sheer terror, I bolted out of my own house, seeking refuge elsewhere. The events of that night left me in a state of perpetual dread. I knew then that the horrors of the Sallie house were not confined within its walls. They spilled over into the lives of those who lived nearby. The entity that I had encountered was a chilling reminder that the supernatural forces within the house were real and relentless. I live in constant fear, knowing that the Sallie house remains an enigmatic source of darkness and despair. My nights are haunted by the cries and whispers that emanate from the house, and I can't escape the feeling that I am being watched, monitored by an entity that defies explanation. The Sallie house, with its history of malevolence and unrelenting horrors, serves as a grim testament to the terrifying unknown that lurks in the shadows of our world. My experiences have left an indelible mark on my soul, a reminder that some mysteries are better left unexplored, and some terrors are beyond human comprehension.
I am Daniel, a seasoned reporter and filmmaker, and my team embarked on a chilling journey in May 2023 to document the infamous Sallie house. We were drawn to the house's dark history, its reputation for paranormal activity, and the countless stories that had shrouded it in mystery. Little did we know that our investigation would lead us to a horrifying revelation. As we crossed the threshold of the Sallie house, an eerie stillness hung in the air, and an overwhelming sense of unease settled upon us. The house exuded an aura of malevolence that was impossible to ignore. Our cameras rolled, and we prepared to capture any evidence of the supernatural. During our first night, as we set up our equipment in the living room, we heard a distant, mournful crying coming from the empty nursery upstairs. The sound sent shivers down our spines, but we pressed on, determined to document the unexplainable. Our audio equipment picked up strange whispers and childlike giggles that seemed to emanate from the very walls of the Sallie house. We rushed to investigate, capturing the moment the nursery doors slammed shut with a force that defied logic. The room's temperature dropped drastically, visible breaths forming in the icy air. Upon reviewing our footage, we were confronted with a nightmarish image. On the crib's monitor, a shadowy figure stood by the crib, its eyes glowing with malevolence. One of our team members, Sarah, suddenly began screaming uncontrollably, her eyes vacant and unseen. We rushed her to the hospital, but she never fully regained her sanity. The following days were filled with terror as we continued our investigation. Mysterious scratches appeared on our arms and legs, and the air was thick with an ominous presence that seemed to taunt us. Each night, we heard cries and whispers that tore at our sanity, and we felt a darkness encroaching upon us. Our equipment malfunctioned inexplicably, and our once solid team began to unravel under the relentless barrage of supernatural occurrences. The Sallie house was a labyrinth of horror, and we were trapped in its sinister grip. Desperation overcame us, and we decided to conclude our documentary. As we hastily packed our gear, the oppressive atmosphere in the house seemed to intensify, as if it resented our intrusion. We left with a profound sense of dread and the chilling knowledge that some forces are beyond comprehension. The Sallie house had shown us the true face of terror, leaving our team scarred and forever changed. The stories and legends we had come to investigate were no longer tales of the past, but a living nightmare that had unfolded before our very eyes. Our documentary became a testament to the malevolent forces that lurked within the Sallie house, a place where the line between the living and the dead blurred into an endless abyss of horror.